On Central News tonight, round the bridges, the law changes that affect work on the farm, and Waipa, it's the home of champions. Kia ora, welcome to Central News for Thursday the 13th of November. I'm Hilary Entwistle. Hamilton and Waikato's annual Round the Bridges run is set to hit the pavement again this Sunday, November the 16th, for the 70th anniversary of the race. With $70,000 in prize money up for grabs, loads of spot prizes and entertainment on the course, it promises to be a fantastic event.
That's right, we do get lots of people coming back for more. I think it's something to do with traditions, and people like traditions, and this event, has a long history. 70 years ago, started with 20 runners, and this year we're anticipating at least 6,000. So it's really grown and exploded into something that truly is unique to our region. We get a lot of people from the Greater Waikato coming in to take part in really what is the biggest and oldest fun run in our region. So yeah, we're pretty excited about what's going to happen on Sunday.
What can people expect this year?
Well, as I alluded to, it's our 70th anniversary, and so we're marking that milestone with commemorative medals for every finisher. So they will walk away with a memento of this anniversary. There's lots of really neat prizes for people to potentially win, spot prizes we call them, and the major one there is there's 7 chances for people to win a share of $70,000. So several lucky people could walk away with $10,000.
Wow, yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. There's going to be lots of entertainment on course too, isn't there?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's always it's always a feature of Round the Bridges. We like to think of it as something that's socially active and very entertaining. And so to make it fun, to make it exciting, we have 6 entertainment acts or bands or performers out on course to keep people motivated as they're walking or trotting around the course. Yeah.
Fantastic idea, the Sky City hotspots actually. And with us, we're lucky enough to have some of the band members who are going to be performing Looking for Alaska. Amy and Aaron, it's your second year back with the Sky City hotspots for Round the Bridges. Last year, I understand you actually did pretty well. You were quite popular.
We did better than we thought we would, especially because we were on the 12K course instead of the 6K course, and we actually managed to place second.
Yeah, it's really cool. Such an awesome event to be a part of.
What has brought you back again this year? Is it the hope to take out top spot, or is it actually the event?
It's only the event. It's such a good one, and it's so fun. And we met so many good people, and we actually got quite a few gigs out of it. From last year, we ended up playing at birthdays.
Every other week, someone's like, "Oh, sweet guys, some hotspots." So yeah, it's really cool.
Guys, so we're around the bridges,
and it's just fun to get to cheer on the runners and see everyone like really going for it. And yeah, it's a good community day out.
Yeah, they'll be cheering us, and we'll be cheering for them because I wouldn't want to run, so they're doing a better job than what we are. Goodness.
So tell me about the music the runners are going to hear from you.
Everything.
A lot of up-tempo stuff, I'd say, yeah.
Yeah.
Try and keep them all motivated and going hard.
Because we try and keep everyone else interested as much as we want to stay interested as well, so we're always learning new songs. Always.
So do you play the same song over and over? Because obviously a runner's only going to hear maybe 30 seconds of what you're playing. So do you just keep playing the same song?
We could. One of our friends, the one who won it a couple of years back, Coral Pitcher, she actually played the same song over and over. It was I Have the Tiger. And she won it, so we were like, well, maybe we should do it. But then we had people sitting up along the banks watching us. And we were just like, well, we want to play and entertain them as well as ourselves. So we played everything that we knew.
And what are you hoping to take away this year? Top spot of People's Choice?
Well, that'd be amazing,
that'd be
but that's never why we end up doing any of this. It's fun, and it's good to meet new people. And we meet tons and tons of people who then recognise us later, and that's the fun of it. And Round the Bridges is cool. We love it.
Kevin, the Sky City Hotspots just adds to the whole atmosphere of this iconic event. The fact that it's a fun run and there's kind of no pressure to make a certain time, except if you set it yourself, do you think that adds to the appeal of the whole day as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's something that people look forward to annually, and so I think it's motivating for a lot of people to go, right, I'm gonna do Around the Bridges, and they know it's coming up in November every year, so they'll probably do a bit of work through the winter, going, I need to keep in shape, and or I'm going to head out and get out around the riverbanks and just check out the course leading into the event. Some people do come back to try and beat their best time. We see that. It doesn't matter what time that is, but they're still trying to beat what they did the last time. And in the fun side of things, we really see it. There's a lot of people who do it with their mates. They might walk or run, but they're doing it with their friends or colleagues or whatever. And lots of people dress up too, so they really try to make it a memorable day.
The event is capped at 6,800. How are numbers tracking at the moment?
Yeah, well, we're already on a record. We've got more than we've ever had already, and we've still a few days out. So we're still taking entries online up until Friday morning, and then people can walk up and see us on the day. As long as we've still got entries available, which we're hoping we will, because we don't want to turn anyone away. But we've never really been in this position of actually selling out. And that's due to the medals we've got, that's due to numbers, it's due to a whole lot of other things that have limitations. Yeah, so we do have that number, and it is pretty strict.
And the fantastic trophies, of course, that are up for grabs.
Yeah, there's a variety of trophies, and these are for those who like to be a little bit more competitive, I guess. And so I guess harking back to the history of the event, it was set up to be a race. When I said there was 20 runners, and they were there to race. And we have a trophy dating back all the way back to when it first began in 1945. And that's a memorial trophy for naming a couple of soldiers who from the Waikato region who fought in World War II. And for those who know the history, that's 1945 was when the World War II finished, and so it was off the back of that. The country was, I guess, a little bit depressed and went through this traumatic experience, and this was a way invented by the Hamilton Harrier Club to say, let's celebrate Hamilton, let's bring a spectacle to Hamilton, and that was their concept. It's what they knew best, to bring running to Hamilton, and that's where it all started, and it carried on as a runners' race for a little while, and then it's in the last couple of decades it's merged into what we call a social fun run. Yeah. And
this year's charity is Parafed Waikato. Tell me about that.
Sure. Yeah, it's really neat to link up with Parafed Waikato. It's the synergies are clearly there. They're there to promote recreational opportunities for people with physical disabilities. And so this event's a really nice fit. We support them in their endeavours to promote opportunities, and so they're there. They've got lots of people competing from their organisation, and hopefully it inspires even more people to compete as well later on. But yeah, so look out for Parafed Waikato on the day.
It's not too late to enter. Go to aroundthebridges.co.nz. Just ahead, your obligations as a farmer with the new health and safety laws. Welcome back to Central News on TV Central. Federated Farmers recently held a series of interactive sessions of health and safety on the farm around the Waikato. With changes to workplace health and safety laws affecting farmers, these sessions were about enabling farmers with the right tools and helping them to better understand their obligations as farm owners and employers. Waikato Federated Farmers President Chris Lewis explains why there was a need to hold these sessions.
Next year there's a law change in April 2015. There are already strong laws protecting the employees and employers regarding health and safety, but these laws have been beefed up. So in 2015 in April, WorkSafe New Zealand, they would have tripled their workforce, and they've looked at the stats, and agriculture is number one. We're not number one because we're good at what we do, it's because we're not what we're doing. and that is keeping our staff safe. So last year, it's been reported in the media, there was 18 deaths. In forestry, there was 4. So it's not a good stat. It's not something to be proud of for being number 1. So we've decided we'll make some awareness out there. There's going to be some tougher laws come into place. The fines will be anywhere from $500,000 to $5 million, which makes most people take notice. Also be criminal convictions and possible jail time. So what does that mean for farmers? It means farmers, if they're not doing it already, they need to have some health and safety plans. Not just a book that gives us dust in the cow shed, but something that the employers and staff interact on a monthly basis. They do a bit of training and also be made aware of the hazards.
Can that be done simply by the employer sitting down with the worker and actually having a conversation?
That's correct, yes. You have to sit down and have the conversation. It's not just in passing, put your helmet on. You've got to sit down and have the conversation. What does good health and safety look like on this farm? Because it'll look different from the neighbours. You've got different machinery, different contour, and also you've got the people factor. The people factor is the unknown, and that's why at these seminars we've had a team approach from 5 speakers. One is selecting the right candidate. 2, when you think you've found the right candidate, do some drug testing. And if that comes back clear, offer them a job using Ferry Farmers contracts, signing a health and safety document, also signing a drug and alcohol policy. So yeah, once they come on your farm, you take them through to health and safety again, reiterate what looks good on your farm, what's bad, but also once they're there is maintaining that good working relationship you started from day one when you selected them. A professional approach, good communication, and just having that regular conversations.
So what are some of the major concerns around workplace safety on the farm?
I think if you just look at recent accidents, one was in Otahonga, there was a PTO shaft that was uncovered, a guy I went to school with. It was very unfortunate. Also there's four-wheelers. Four-wheelers are very safe equipment, but when you stick a human on there, impatient, might be a bit late for the job, a bit of speed and terrain, they can be a dangerous beast. But in the right hands, a good rider who's been well trained, four-wheelers are just as safe as your car.
Where can farmers go to find out more about the law change and to get help to know what to do?
First thing to do is maybe look at the WorkSafe website, and they've got a document on there showing what farmers need to do to be compliant. But once you've had a read of that, you might want to talk to some professionals out there. First thing you want to do is making sure all your staff have got employment agreements. They're keeping hour sheets. You've got a health and safety policy that has been used regularly, basics like that. But if you've got any sneaking suspicions about your staff, they were a bit late, sleeping in, party all night, then you might need some professional advice. And there's plenty of firms in Waikato. One we had last night was Ag Results, who spoke to us and about alcohol and drug testing. There's also the recruitment agencies out there who can give you professional advice. Also, likes of Hazard Co, Enfed Farmers, they can give you one-on-one advice on how to implement things for your farm.
So why did this law change come about?
Well, back in 2009, I think it was, when we had the Pike River mine accident, you would have seen a lot of media about that, and in the media, all the directors said, oh, we didn't know mines were dangerous. We didn't know being underground, there would be gas explosions and all these other things. We left it up to the managers on the site to run a safe operation. So after that, none of the managers, directors could be prosecuted. They all escaped prosecution. So the government decided they would copy maybe what the Australians are doing and bring accountability right to the top. Not just to the CEO or the managing director, but also the directors. So made them all accountable, and this law changed. So You would have seen in the Phobo Strait when the Easy Rider sunk with 9 people dead on there. The wife, who was the director of the skipper, she was prosecuted in court. And she had 9 manslaughter charges against her, never went on the boat, never had anything to do operationally, apart from being a director. And she probably just signed the cheques and that's all she did, but she was made accountable. So in any farming operation, there's husbands and wives. Often the wives don't do a lot, most do a lot, but the ones who don't, they need to be aware of the obligations of being a company director.
What are the implications for farmers? Say they have a farm worker who has been asked to wear his helmet, doesn't wear his helmet, has a motorbike accident, who's liable?
First thing is, when you're becoming a company director, it's not just a cool title to have. There is responsibilities and there is laws out there that could hold you accountable. So if you don't want to be a company director, and you, please don't. But if you decide you want to be part of the partnership or part of the team to help run a successful operation, then you need to be made aware of your obligations. And any good lawyer these days, when you sign these documents, will make you aware. And the basics is having your staff with contracts, hours, health and safety documents. That is just some of the basics that get you going. And once you've got those implemented, then you need to maybe, especially if you've got a larger operation, seek some professional advice. And there's many, many people out there who can offer that. And please don't go to one source, go to many, go to 3 or 4 and have a team behind you.
And a good place to start is Fed Farmers.
Fed Farmers, as well as our speakers we had last night, which is Cross Country Recruitment, KPMG, Ag Results, FMG.
For more details, go to fedfarm.org.nz. Coming up next, the home of champions. Welcome back to Central News. 2014 has seen the Waipa district celebrate 150 years of history, and as part of their commemorations, they have gathered together a collection of stories of people and the history of the area. Mayor Jim Milcrest explained to Anne-Marie what makes this book so special.
Oh, it's a fantastic book, and I suppose it came about initially when council was planning their 150-year celebrations. There was a thought to do a centre spread, I suppose, in the local papers, really, just setting out some of the fantastic history of the Waipa district. But that grew to the extent that a soft back, almost a brochure type publication was actually printed called Between the Rivers. That was between Waipa and Waikato Rivers, and that was distributed to everybody throughout the district. Every rateable property got one. But as a result of that and investigating and coming up with the stories, the authors, Kingsley Field and Richard Stowers, had that much material that it was thought that it warranted a book. And the former Mayor Alan Livingston took it upon himself, with council support of course, to go out and see if there was some sponsorship opportunities out in the community, and he managed to gather sufficient sponsorship to be able to have the book, the authors produced the work and the book printed, and now we have two versions of it, a hard and a soft copy, and the soft copy's selling for $25 in the 2 Paper Plus stores within Waipa. But I suppose in terms of the book, it's really a collection of short stories going back even further than the 150 years of Waipa history. It's got a lot of the major Maori battles, I suppose, that were pre-European within Waipa, and of course we've got a lot of that history within Waipa district. So it's a really easy read. It's a collection of short stories almost about notable businesses and people and firms throughout Waipa, how they started, some of the long-standing names, major events, obviously the Depression and the World Wars and those sorts of things are covered. So it's a really interesting read.
It's an absolutely beautiful book, extremely well written. What are some of the highlights throughout it?
Oh, I think the highlights are the fact that it's a number of short stories that everybody can relate to. You can flick through the book and pick up items of interest that you have personally, or you know people that are covered in the book, or businesses and how they started and how the Anchor brand started in Waipa, all of those sorts of things. So it's I think that's the real benefit of the book. It's really anybody who's had any sort of association with Waipa would be able to find somebody in there that they knew or had a family member in there. And so it's just the local stories. So yeah, I think it's a fantastic book for people to have on their coffee tables, as it were.
It's wonderful to look at it, and you know, you pick it up and it falls open to a page and, oh, that's how Fencourt started, or oh, that's how Hautapu started. Why is a book like this important for future generations?
Well, I think it took both Richard Stowers and Kingsley Field 12 months or more to collect all of the stories, and here it is in a collection that people can pick up and read. So it is actually recording those events, and quite a lot of it is, I suppose, almost verbatim interviews with people who have actually lived a lot of that history. So it's really important to capture that before those people have gone. So that's really an advantage. And it was interesting at the launch of the book, Kingsley Field just happened to make the comment that he's got enough information to do volume 2, and a number of the sponsors there said, well, if you do go ahead with volume 2, we'd be quite keen to sponsor that as well. So it's certainly, there's a lot of information out there. So it's a district rich in history.
Waipa, home of champions celebrating 150 years, can be purchased from Paper Plus in Cambridge and Te Awamutu. Now for the weather for Friday. Marine forecast for our regions now. That is the program tonight. If you have something you'd like to share with us, you can via our Facebook page, centralnews.tv, or email us news@tvcentral.co.nz. On tomorrow night's program, the Waikato River Plan and the Type 2 diabetes epidemic. I'm Hilary Entwistle. I hope you have a lovely evening.
This has been an Alpha Media production, a division of Television Media Group.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.